Welcome back to Trading with CJ. Now, for those of you that watch my channel, you will know that I do like individual stocks. I speak about a few on this channel, ones are buying, etc. as well. But aside from individual stocks, I am partial to the odd ETF, and I do hold a few in my portfolio. Now, before I get into that, I just want to do a quick plug. I recently did a video with Dwall does dividends on his channel, so if you want to check that out, it's about Johnson & Johnson stock. I'll leave the link in the description below. Be sure to check that out and check out his channel as well. He's the dividend guy, covers all dividend related material. So back to it. Now, if you're not familiar with what ETFs are, you can check a video out that I recently did on what ETFs are. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. So let's get straight into this one. I currently own 4 different ETFs and I'm looking to potentially add one more to that, but at the moment I own 4. Now these are all really popular ETFs that you're probably all familiar with, and that's because they all have consistent growth and consist of a collection of solid companies, in my opinion. So the first one up is my largest ETF holding and probably one of my largest holdings across all portfolios. And no surprise there, that is the S&P 500. Now this particular ETF that I invest into is on the London Stock Exchange and it's the Vanguard S&P 500, EPIC code VUSA. And it pays a nice dividend of about 1.5% as well. And what the S&P 500 is, it is the top 500 companies in America. So this is tracking their performance overall. And it's a great fund and it has consistent growth. It's one of the most recommended ETFs that you invest into because over the years it's just been growing and growing. You're betting on the top 500 companies in America. It's a safe bet in my opinion. So the second ETF up is another one that I've spoke about quite a bit on this channel, and that is EPIC code VUKE Vanguard FTSE 100. Now I'm a big fan of the FTSE 100, and what it basically is the top 100 companies in the UK. So very similar to the S&P 500, but it's the top 100. And although this is the UK ETF, they're a bit more global companies. So you've got a lot of banks in this ETF, a lot of oil companies, more global ones that most countries around the world have heard of. It pays a very nice dividend as well of 5.54%. So not only is it pretty stable in terms of its growth, it also is paying a nice dividend. That's the top 100 companies in the UK. So my third ETF holding is the FTSE 250, and this is the Vanguard fund, EPIC code VMID. Pays a nice dividend again of 4.12%. This is similar to the FTSE 100, but this is the top 250 companies in the UK. And what happens is once they're out of the 250, they're going to the FTSE 100. Now this is a kind of a bit of a better measure. The FTSE 100 is a bit more global, like I say, a lot of banks and oil companies in that. But the FTSE 250 is a bit of a better measure of how the UK markets are doing. So it's a bit more specific to the UK. A lot of companies in there that are purely UK at the moment. So companies like Greggs, Games Workshop, etc. These are in the 250. So these are great companies, and similar to the other 2 ETFs, it's an ETF that is just growing and growing because these companies are also growing over time. Now my fourth and final one on this list is my most different one, and that is UK property. I invest into the iShares UK property, which is IKUP, and it pays a nice dividend again of 2.97%. And what the UK property ETF is tracking real estate and REITs across the UK. It's tracking their performance of these companies. Some of its largest holdings is Segro, for example, which invests into which is a REIT for warehouse properties, and then Land Securities, which is more commercial properties such as retail and offices, etc. Very big holdings, and just like the rest of these on this list, all very big holdings. So this is tracking REITs and real estate in the UK. At the moment, a bit of an kind of iffy sector, so to speak, but it's another ETF that has been growing because it has some solid companies in here, all paying nice dividends as well. Now, just worth mentioning, as we know, ETFs, they are passively managed, therefore they have very, very minimal fees. The highest fee on this list is actually the UK property one, which is 0.4%. As a dividend is 3% almost, it's about 1/7 of its dividend. So there's nothing to worry about at all. Now, the great thing about holding ETFs, and more specifically these ones, is they're all paying a nice amount of dividends at the moment. Not to mention, they're all consistently growing. So not only are you getting the dividends, you're getting the actual growth of the ETF over time as well. So if you did want to sell, you should get more back than what you put in. So ETFs are generally considered a safer option rather than picking individual stocks because you're not betting on one company. you're picking a whole collection of companies. So the chances of this ETF growing is very high. Now, I didn't actually go through my percentages, so I'm just going to put them up on the screen here. I'm very heavy in the S&P 500. I'm 60% on the S&P 500, 15, 15, and 10. It's a little bit unbalanced, but the S&P 500 is a very solid ETF, which I think most investors would be great to have in their portfolio. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and these are just my personal picks. If you are planning on investing into the stock market, you should always do your own research first. So there we are, that's my 4 ETF holdings. Let me know in the comments below, do you hold any of these ETFs? Are there any ETFs that maybe I could add to this portfolio as well? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel. It is really appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time,